Well, alright guys, just finished up watching The State. So, as per usual, my quick thoughts. Oh my gosh, so good. This was the TV I lived for back in the day. I used to be completely obsessed with, and pretty much still am to this day, the History Channel, Learning Channel. I know, yes, the Learning Channel. TLC used to actually be called the Learning Channel. They used to have educational programming and documentaries and stuff like that. I assure you that was the case back in the day. Now it's just VH1 too, which in of itself is a stupid thing to say because VH1 used to have music videos. Anyway, so, yeah, History Channel, Learning Channel, Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, HGTV, Food Network, all that stuff I was obsessed with. I loved to learn. To this day, I still love to learn. Just look at how much Chris and I argue over when we come across documentaries. Who gets it? You know, we both are obsessed with documentaries. I love them. I watch them all the time. I love that H right there. I'm a huge, huge, huge documentary fan, or just a big fan of educational programming in general. I love to learn. So, sure enough, this kind of stuff was, again, what I lived for back in the day, and I used to actually watch this show back when it originally aired. It is amazing. It is so good. Needless to say, when I came across this DVD about a week or two ago, I was pretty darn happy to find this, especially for only $2, brand new factory sealed. That was an amazing find. This has been on my wish list for a really, really, really long time. So, all right, again, this is amazing. This is narrated by Edward Herman, rest in peace, better known in this household as Richard Gilmore. When he passed away, I was pretty sad. My wife was like, oh no, Richard Gilmore passed away, and that makes sense because we're both really big fans of the Gilmore Girls. But honestly, when I heard he passed away, first thing that I thought of was, wow, all those great narrations we won't get. Because he is by far one of the greatest narrators of all times. I remember so many great documentaries and educational programming and whatnot on the History Channel and probably other channels as well, narrated by him. And his voice is just so commanding, but also kind of soft and soothing. His voice works perfect for narrations, and I definitely was going to miss hearing his voice during documentaries. So very, very sad when he passed away. But he does a fantastic job. I mean, like I said, his voice is kind of commanding, but soothing at the same time, and it really works for something like this. So what this does is it actually goes through all 50 states. I believe each episode is about an hour long. That's why it took me about a week to get through this. I was watching about 1 or 2 episodes per night. So about an hour long each episode, and each episode I believe goes through, I think it's like 4 or 5 states to get all the way through. And what this is it talks about all the different states, but it talks about all the different, like, weird things and interesting things about the state. It doesn't necessarily just go into like the straight up the history of the state, although it does, but it also wants to tell you about all the weird, wacky things in that state, or all the things that make the state really interesting. So it might talk about how one state, you know, like the people are really into like some weird cultural thing. It'll talk about that, or maybe there's like some parade that happens every year, some weird parade. You know, it'll talk about stuff like that, or you know, Idaho and their potatoes, or Vermont and, you know, what's wrong here? Oh, maple syrup, and Wisconsin and their cheese, you know, stuff like that. It'll mention things like that. Of course, they talk about Florida. They quickly mention Walt Disney World and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome, pretty amazing, and it just goes into like really fun detail about all the kind of weird, bizarre, and interesting things about the states. It's not so much like a weird U.S. or something like that. If you guys remember that show, it's not quite that crazy. It doesn't look for like the really, really, really bizarre stuff, but it just tells you more of the interesting kind of quirky things about the states, and that's what makes this so much fun. What a fantastic series. And again, they do go through all 50 states. They actually ends with Washington, D.C., so they do cover all 50 states plus the District of Columbia as well. I thought it was a really cool way to actually end the series. The fact that the last episode you go through, like, I think you go through like 4 states, and then you also get like Washington, D.C. I'm like, that's really cool. It's nice to hear interesting things about the District of Columbia as well. So very cool, very amazing. I cannot recommend this enough. I don't think I need to go into too much detail. It just is what it is. It's exactly what I said it is. Just weird, quirky things about each one of the 50 United States of America. And this is just fantastic. This is classic History Channel right here, in my opinion. I love it. I guarantee you this will not be the last time I watch this. Consider it watched again probably in like a few months from now. This is just such an amazing, fantastic set. I love the artwork too. I like how they actually designed it to look like a suitcase. It doesn't, you know, most artwork is like this and whatnot. Oh no, not the States. That is too cool. What a fantastic design there on the packaging. I love that it has all the stickers and everything on it too. That's really cool. So again, amazing, fantastic, wonderful. Definitely recommend this. You can find out some weird, quirky things about your state that maybe you didn't already know about. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I learned some things about Pennsylvania that even I didn't know, so that was really cool. Again, fantastic. The States, highly recommend it. It's a history channel. You just can't go wrong.